Welcome to the Virat Hindustan Sangam's channel, Gyan Ganga, Words of Wisdom. Today is 59th episode. I welcome Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Before we go into the regular topic of the day and the invited guest today, let me introduce the members of the technical team, which has been working backstage and whose contribution to making this program success is huge. And therefore, we have brought them together. We have brought them together to you. Let me first introduce Mr. Gadgi Rakesh from Bengaluru.
Yes. Put your hand up for the audience, not us.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, sir. Namaskar. Namaskaram, sir. Namaskaram to all VHS core team and VHS technical team and all to the viewers. I am Gadgi Rakesh from Bangalore. I am a property consultant and also a legal advisor to all the property buyers. I joined Virat Hindustan Sangam in the year 2018, and I thank Sri Nikunsha ji for making me to join VHS and understanding the core principles, and also the other core team of the Karnataka team members, Gopi, Ranjit, Virat sir, others, inculcating me with the VHS Ajay core principles of all five what we have. And the main inspiration for me to join Virat Hindustan Sangam is because of I am associated with Ramakrishna Mutt in Bangalore, where Swami Harshanandji is the president of the Mutt. He told me in the year 2010, where I joined as a member of the Mutt, to work for the Hindutva and the nation. And I was searching for the proper platform where I can inculcate myself in serving Hindutva and the nation. And because of the blessings of the God, and I can able to connect myself with Virat Hindustan Sangam and Dr. Subramanian Swamy videos in the YouTube, where I was pursuing my LLB. I could able to get the illustrations from the Dr. Swamy's legal pursuits, where I should write all those examples in my examination. And whichever example I wrote in that exam, I have passed that exam. That examiner has never made me to give less marks or for an example. I didn't read the word adverse position. And when Dr. Swamy used to tell about the adverse position in the Ram Mandir case or the Babri Masjid case, I used to remember that in my examination. I used to quote all Dr. Swamy's adverse position related to Babri Masjid. And so by like this, I was searching where is that Virat Hindustan Sangam. I went to the website and I went to see Nikunsha number, and I went and contacted Nikunsha, where Mr. Sri Iyer came to introduce his book C Company in Bangalore. Thereby, Jagdish Shetty ji also came into that event. I joined to that event, and I've been regularly involved with the VHS activities in Karnataka. And since then, 2018 onwards, the VHS Karnataka core team people has given me an ample of opportunities to involve myself in the VHS activities of Karnataka. And I'm very fortunate enough, and I was very fortunate to invite Dr. Swamy to Ramakrishna Mutt in Bangalore on January 12th, National Youth Day, where Dr. Swamy ji, Jagdish Shetty ji, Nikunsha ji came, and we have celebrated National Youth Day in very much grand manner. And we have Dr. Swamy garlanded Swami Vivekananda statue at the Baswangudi in the Bangalore. And also I thank Sri Nikunsha ji for giving me an opportunity to give a welcome speech for Yediyurappa. It was obviously 1 minute, and I trained myself to give in a proper 1 minute speech. Even that 1 minute welcome speech has given me a lot of stage confidence for myself to speak in front of Dr. Swamy and Yediyurappa ji. That's all I would like to introduce about myself. And with respect to this
thank you, Mr. Rakesh. Thank you very much. We also have with us Mr. Ishwar Iyer from Navi Mumbai. I'll request him to introduce himself to the viewers.
Arvindji, you can proceed.
I think we have lost the connection of Mr. Ishwar Iyer. I'll now introduce to you Mr. Swaminathan from Chennai. He has been a backbone of this program, and he will introduce himself.
Thank you, Arvindji. Namaste, Dr. Swamy, and to the worldwide viewers. My name is Swaminathan. I'm a finance professional from Chennai, associated with VHS from its inception. And I have been following Dr. Swamy from 2009 and heavily inspired by him. And in whatever little way I would like to contribute to VHS, I'm doing. I'm working under the TN leadership of Chandaleka IAS retired ma'am. So we are working under her. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Swaminathan. We also have with us Mr. Tejas Navalgund from Pune. He will introduce himself. Tejas. Tejas, put your video on.
Yeah, namaste everyone. My name is Tejas. I am a software professional. I was earlier working in Bangalore. I joined VHS at the end of 2015. And prior to that, I was always following Dr. Swamy sir from beginning and always inspired through his work and contribution towards the nation. Earlier, I was under the leadership of Nitin Shah. Now I am under leadership of Dr. Ajay Sankhe, and I'm always there to spread the views and the work and contribution of Dr. Swamy through Twitter and all other mediums available. Thank you, Jagdish ji, for giving this, and Arvind ji for opportunity to me for coming into this program and helping it grow.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, Ishwaraya. Thank you, Swaminathan. Thank you, Tejas. You have been really contributing to success of this program. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Absolutely. Superb job.
Thank you, sir.
Besides these, I have my co-host Jagdish Shetty. I welcome.
I'd just like to make one comment. Sorry, Arvindji. Just
yes.
one comment I would like to add is, of course, we are appreciating our team a lot, but I think the team was very proud of themselves when our external guest Anupam Kherji also gave them such a high regard.
Yes.
Team has been working at such a high level of
professionalism. Our praise is not worth much. See, it's the outsiders' faith that is more important. I agree with you.
Yeah, it is a program success which speaks about the contribution and competence of these team members. We are really thankful to them. I welcome Jagdish. I welcome Mr. Ramesh Swamy. You have just sent our technical team head, Ashish Shetty. And now I introduce the invited guest for today's program. Today we have Dr. Phirmi Bodo. Dr. Phirmi Bodo has been with VHS for several years now. She's from Dibrugarh. She's from Dibrugarh. I'm coming to introduce her from Dibrugarh. She is now assistant professor in the School of Social Sciences, JNU. Jawaharlal Nehru University. So we have a VHS representative in Jawaharlal Nehru University now. Today, she is going to talk about the Northeast India issues and challenges. Dr. Swamy will introduce the topic, and then he will raise certain questions which Phirmi will answer. And once she completes this topic, we have with us Dr. Ajay Sankhe, who is the medical director of Bhakti Vedanta Hospital, Mira Road, Bhayandar, Mumbai. And he is going to talk about COVID-19. He has been in the thick of it. In fact, he has seen the working of the hospitals and how the problems are being faced by the hospitals and doctors and the paramedical staff.
Treating them. Hospital is treating them.
Yeah. So he will talk about the subject once the Northeast India issue with Phirmi is over. So welcome Dr. Ajay Sankhe, welcome Dr. Phirmi Bodo, and Dr. Swamy, over to you to introduce the topic Northeast India issues and challenges.
Okay. Well, we'll divide the discussion as 25 minutes and 25 minutes because you got about 50 minutes. First of all, I welcome our two guests, both accomplished already in terms of education and so on. And Phirmi, of course, is just starting as a assistant professor, and she is. We have a lot of hopes on her that she will liberate Jawaharlal Nehru University, and she's already started programs and so on, which I saw advertisement for. So I will begin by making a few comments about Northeast. Not relevant to what the present situation is, that only Phirmi can explain to us. But the background, why Northeast is so important. First of all, let me make it clear that definitionally that Northeast includes 8 states. And sometimes a part of another state, that is of Bengal, is also included in the in the discussion on Northeast. The states are Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura. And occasionally Darjeeling, Jalpaiguri, and Cooch Behar, they are also included in the discussion. Now, why I thought that we should have this discussion is that the history of Northeast is spectacular and a great source of great pride for people like me who read about it. But 99% of the Indians have not read about the history of Northeast. And therefore, I think now it's time to publicize the background of Northeast and how they are very much part of Indian history. And in fact, they have shown valor, which other parts of India have not shown in equal amount. So therefore, I would like to go back and particularly draw the attention of the people of India and especially our youngsters to the Ahom dynasty, which was formed originally. I mean, the Ahom people originally came from Thailand, but they married internally. And in the 1931 census, when they were asked to declare their religion, 100% declared it as Hindu. The British were very unhappy about it, and since then all the missionaries, everybody are trying to work to see that, they say, no, we are not nothing to do with Hindu. In fact, Manipur, the Vaishnavite dances and so on, I've seen with my own eyes. They are superb, and we see them sometimes in the public living. So therefore, the first point I want to say is that this is the Northeast has, particularly Assam and parts of Manipur and so on, the Ahom dynasty had brought in a great deal of renaissance in that area. But more important is 17 times the Mughals attacked them and wanted to cross into Burma and into Southeast Asia. And all 17 times they defeated by the Ahom dynasty. It's a tremendous record, and the most celebrated battle was the battle which was where Lanchit Barpukhan led the battle and defeated the Mughal representatives who came there. So therefore, this is something which is extraordinarily important part of history. And I asked students around the country, have you heard of Lanchit Barpukhan? Nobody's heard the name. And they have not heard of the Ahom dynasty. That's even more surprising. The Ahom dynasty played as much an important part as the Sikhs like Guru Gobind Singh and Guru Tegh Bahadur played in our liberation. So therefore, we must know about the current state of Northeast. Third thing is, Ahom dynasty was established when 1229. 1229 it was established. And when did the British were finally able to defeat them and take them over, like they were taking over the rest of India, was in 1826. That means almost 600 years, 598 years. I mean, continuous with lineages, everything. And they kept the Mughals completely out. They never let them come anywhere near, and it was therefore totally free from Islamic invasion. So therefore, this is another part which is very important. And third part is that Dilli Chalo call was given by Subhash Chandra Bose in the Northeast, in Manipur, in Imphal, and he hoisted the Indian flag, declared it liberated. He liberated it. The Indian National Army liberated parts of Northeast in 1942-43 and hoisted the Indian flag. Of course, the first time Subhash Chandra Bose hoisted an Indian flag and declared an Indian territory was Andaman Nicobar. But this one, and that time the Japanese had already finished off the British and they had left, and Subhash Bose used that opportunity to occupy it and set up an Indian government there. And but fighting in the most terrible terrain and defeating the British, that is also Northeast, and therefore Northeast played the role in supporting army and people and food and so on. So that is another point. And so in all these aspects, I would say that longer serving, defeating the Mughals, and giving the first Indian government was created in Imphal by Subhash Chandra Bose. He was made the Prime Minister of India. The first Prime Minister of independent India is not Jawaharlal Nehru, but Subhash Chandra Bose, October 21, 1943. So I think this is something which makes the Northeast a very important place for us. Now, I therefore, are being very proud of Northeast and sad that we people loosely talk about them being Chinese. I mean, in Delhi, all kinds of riffraffs talk like that. There was a time when Northeast people were being targeted and so on. But it's the duty of all Indians and especially all Hindus and those who are with us as Hindustanis, they should now give special attention to Northeast. So over to Phirmi, Professor Bodo, please tell us what is the current state of Northeast as you see it.
Dr. Swamy, before Phirmi, just a second. People on Facebook are giving a feedback saying that Ulupi and Chitrangada were from the Northeast.
Oh, achha,
Ulupi is from Nagaland and Chitrangada is from Manipur.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, thanks. Tell the audience, thank you very much. Even I am not fully knowledgeable. I am also partly ignorant.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy, sir. You have always been an inspiration for me. I still remember it was in the year 2012 when I first met you in Dibrugarh University. And I took your signature autograph also. And that was, I still remember, it was 11th November 2012. I just want to begin my my observation or my opinion on Northeast by this quote, very famous quote. A Spanish philosopher once said, if you do not know your own history, you can repeat,
you are condemned to relive it.
Yes, you are doomed. I mean, you may repeat the same mistakes actually. So I just rephrase it. If you don't know the correct history, right. So if you don't know your correct history, we are doomed to repeat it. So most of the Northeastern people, forget about the rest of the India, sir. Most of the Northeastern people are not even being taught the real history, the correct history actually.
Yeah.
So I just give you one point one by one, because until and unless if you don't know the history, you will not able to understand the real issues that has been emerging in Northeastern India, why it becomes so sensitive, or why this part of the region becomes such a vulnerable. As we know, the British India came to India for economic reason. They make us their colony, and they have ruled for a very longer period of time. So when they came here, first, what they have branded the Northeastern people is that Northeastern people are savages. They are some kind of people who roam around the jungle in forest, naked or semi-naked. In fact, there are books on that. And they are primitive. They are backward. They are uncivilized people, violent people. They attack people. They headhunters, kinds of they branded us, all of us. So, and after that, this was even, unfortunately, propagated more by the local historians. This is the most saddest part. And one very important contribution made by the modern historian is the complete, avoidance of the oral history, which was actually the essence of our civilization, because we always tend to pass our traditions orally in the ancient period. And now, and I feel so that we are at the crossroad now. We have now we all are educated, and it's our duty to recorrect or rewritten our history. The first myth that created by the British colonial administrator was the myth of isolation. They branded the Northeastern are very excluded. They have no touch with the civilization. They have no connections with the other rest of the India, which is a completely bogus. And I mean, they have no any developed society. They have no sense of civilization. So this is how they created that there is no connection. They're completely different. And then after that, they created another myth, is that the misrepresentation on religion, that we don't have any religion, we demon worshipper, we worship the evils, and we don't have any dharma, we don't believe in that, and something very miles away from the Sanatani. This is the second myth that they have created. And then myth of Hinduization. They think that all the peoples are get converted. I mean, they will brought this kind of theory that Brahmins came from West Bengal, Brahmin came from Kannauj, and they have actually converted us to Hinduism, like they converted the Christianization. How they have spread it in the northeastern part of India. So they again injected in the minds of the people. And then myth of migration. So you also know how Aryan Dravidian theory was bogus. Similarly, similar with the case of these Northeastern people. In fact, I was working on a project, sir. It was Wanchu people. They are from the Arunachal Pradesh. And when I went there physically, they themselves told me that I don't think we have come from somewhere other, but we might go to other places, but it's not that we came from the outside region. And in fact, 1 hour ago, I was attending a very important webinar on the defalsifications of Aryan invasion theory. There, they said that that lady, she was talking about the genetical structure, that all the genome structure of India are same, and this is the oldest one. So you cannot define that and this is not some kind of imaginary thing that I'm telling. It was proven on the basis of scientific theory.
Right.
So that is the myth of migration they told us, coming from the some Far East Asia. I don't know exactly what kind of things they in their mind. And then they neglected the archaeological evidences. Fortunately, we still have some archaeological evidences to prove that there was an immense connections. There was a connections right from the backdated. I mean, it was not recorded, unfortunately, but you cannot count how old this was there. But we have a connections right from the Ramayana, Mahabharata. So I just want to break all this myth, and I want to argue that there was always being in cultural oneness, right from the Indonesia to the northeast part of India, Angkor Wat. All of us know about it. Yes. So there was always been a connections between the hills people and the plains people. If you go to the northeastern part of India, I mean, I would like to request to all the viewers, you will see a numbers of ancient temple of Vishnu, numbers of Shiva Linga mandirs is there, and these are ruins, and these are not something somebody has put it right 20 years before. No, it's been thousands of years before. So this proof that we always have in connections with the rest of the India. There was a trade relationship. I mean, the connection which we now present is the chicken route, the Siliguri corridor connection. It is just 75 years old. But before that, there was evidence of 27 route, where we had a trade relations with the rest of India. And in fact, it expanded to the China also. So if we are uncivilized, how we can have a trade relations with another people? I mean, you have to be civilized to know how to deal with people. So that is a completely bogus. They're injecting the mind to make the Northeastern people inferior. And we are not only good in behavior addresses, but in fact we know the art of brick making. Sir, I would like to point it out about the place. It's called it's in Dimapur. You talk about the Ahom kingdom. Kingdom. No, actually, sir, not only Ahom kingdom. There are many other kingdoms were there who ruled this Brahmaputra Valley or the entire northeastern region. You talk about the Varman dynasty. We can talk about the Kashari dynasty. Kashari dynasty almost ruled maybe around 1,000 years there.
Yes.
And the ruins are found in the Dimapur, and it's called the Brick City. The old ancient name of Dimapur is a city of Nagaland. And this the Brick City, according to the scholar and the British account, some of the evidence are from the British account themselves. They said that what kind of civilization was existed at that time, it was really an amazing to witness. It was not my made up story, it was told by them only. So we can see how people were civilized. And whether you talk about the iron technology, furnace are being excavated, evidences are there. So these kinds of history are never actually came into limelight. And even northeastern people are not even aware. It's very sad to say that. Okay, I understood the British people have their own agenda, but sometimes I wonder, sir, what's wrong with us? I mean, why we have to look with British eyes or colonial mindset? Sir, I would like also to highlight one very important book that I found actually recently, and even I'm working on that. It was written by Dr. Tenzin Thong. He is an Ao Naga. His book is Progress and its Impact on the Nagas, a Clash of Worldviews. He talked about the interactions between the Naga and the West, beginning with the British military conquest and then followed by American missionaries' intrusions. And he said that how these missionaries resulted in a gradual demise of Naga culture. And he is a PhD. He's a PhD doctorate, and I think he got his degree from the University of Denver. He's from USA, and he said just like other indigenous people whose history is characterized by traumatic cultural turmoil because of colonial interference, the Nagas have been engaged in self-shame, self-negation, and self-sabotage. So now even the Nagas are very confused. So it is a self-realization from our Naga himself. So this is the issue that has to be resolved by the upcoming historians. And through these talks, I also appeal whosoever Northeastern people watching this program, that is our duty now to restructure it, because this kind of damages has been done by British colonial people. And partly, maybe I will blame them, but partly I think we should also blame our academic historians whose ideal was people like Romila Thapar and Irfan Habib. And I'm so sorry for them. Even I used to read their books when I was in my graduation days, but I'm now. That is why I said, sir, we are at the crossroad now. We have to decide which way to go. I mean, otherwise we will be doomed. So these are some of the facts that actually I wanted to highlight to all of you. And so one more thing that you have mentioned about the Lachit Borphukan. Yeah. Not only Lachit Borphukan, people should also know about the King Prithu. He also, King Vishwa Sundar Dev, he defeated the entire army of Bakhtiyar Khilji. How many people will know about it? How many people will know about it to feel proud about themselves? And he also, defeated the Ghiyasuddin Khilji. So these are the story. I mean, sorry for saying story. The fact should be included in our syllabus. And I, through you also, I also request that we should, pressurize our government to, to give this, I would say, forgotten people or forgotten heroes, to give an acknowledgement, because we owe to them, sir.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. I think you have aptly put it.
Yeah.
It is our ignorance which is now responsible. And the day we cure ourselves and stop treating Northeast as some appendage that we got along with the Indian Independence Act from the British Parliament, that these are our people, they are part of our culture, they have shown in history valor that is makes us all proud. So the things are changing. Let me tell you, when I first came, my parents, left Tamil Nadu, came to North. And I was, of course, born in Chennai, but, as a little boy, I was brought up in Delhi. And those days, people thought that Tamils have come from the monkey land, you see, either Africa or we were living on trees. And people used to ask me, have you got a small tail, in your back? And they used to make fun of Tamil. They say Tamil is a language you put 5 big stones in a tin box and then do that is Tamil. So this prejudice there was about Tamils. Today it all disappeared by the integration. So as we proceed, and of course, as Northeast needs a lot more integration in terms of air flights and so on. I think Bangladesh also, you see, from Khulna to the other end, if you draw a line, that top part we should take back, because so many Bangladeshis have come and stayed in India. After all, we gave our land only so that the Muslims who didn't want to live in India could have a separate country. But having got a separate country, they all have come back. So in proportion, we should get the land so that we don't have that thin strip, chicken neck, to control, to connect us to Northeast. But anyway, the future is bright, and people like you become professors and write books and so on. It will be a great addition. Anybody want to ask any further questions before I?
I have one very important point to make. Phirmi missed it. Of course, you were talking about culture and other things. This is the infrastructure and the potential, economic potential that we have. You see, the kind of rivers and the water resources that we have in Northeast, it is 34% of the country's water wealth, 34%. And the hydropower that we can generate, that can feed the entire country, provided it is utilized. Of course, during Narendra Modi's time, there have been many infrastructural projects, including the hydropower project. But even today, the total potential which is used is only 5%. That means 95% potential of the hydropower is not being used, and we will not even have 1 single second outage anywhere in the country, provided the hydropower of Northeast is used. This is the point I wanted to make.
The tri-junction of several countries, Brahmaputra falls several feet down. And I've been told that if we harness that for hydroelectric power, you can give entire country free electricity. That much electricity you can generate.
That's what I said. The 34% of the water wealth is there.
Why should anybody go to Switzerland to see beauty? Go to Northeast. There are such beautiful mountains, beautiful places, and so on. But there, we have not paid any attention. And states like Arunachal, there are 100% Hindi-speaking population there.
Yes.
See, so therefore, I think it is our fault that we have not. How much I have fought for Tezpur to get an airport. Now their flights are going for the first time coming after 70 years. Nobody paid attention. Then I went on that visit and I promised them that it will happen. And now it has happened. So,
yes, thanks to you, sir, actually, because you visited the place and then afterwards you got this good news.
Yes, that's right. And that's all it needs. So it needs a few people to push. And we are looking forward to your, doing your academic work and then thereafter come on board with us so that you can also go around the country to address meetings about and explain to the people what Northeast is all about. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Ramesh,
Go ahead.
I only have a question to Phirmi and perhaps even Dr. Swamy. During the last few years or 6 years or so, do you think there is more attention and funds given to the Northeast state for rapid development of the Northeast? What is your view, Phirmi, or your experience in the last few years?
So my experience, yes, development has taken place. Sir, Jagdish sir, believe that, to develop any place, first things that you need is a communication. after the 2014, after 2016, what developed, I have seen in my own town. It's a very small town, remote area. I mean, it is, I think, for the first time, CM, the Deputy CM, Himanta Biswa Sharma, he visited the place which was never been visited by any MLAs. Forget about the minister. And there was a development of, medical center in the northeastern part in my state. And the road connections were developed. And I've seen with my own house, there was a quite developed when people are coming up. And I have seen that how even from my community, where you can find a very few numbers who are actually go for higher education. You can see numbers of people are coming up because of this, smooth communication. So much has, I have seen and I have witnessed it. So it's a quite big progress. But at the same time, people of our town or of our, community has to be realized that we also have the same responsibility. We should not all the time rely on the government or the other things. The more you are aware, the more you will be exploited. I mean, the less you will be exploited.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, well, my side. I can tell you honestly, I never learned anything about the Northeast, but in geography that these lands existed. Literally, we have never been taught anything in the South in our education. Okay, so I'm guilty of that, and I didn't make an attempt, so I'm guilty of that again. But now I'm learning a lot thanks to people like Phirmi who have joined VHS, and of course Swamy, who always motivates to learn different things. The second biggest what I heard of in Northeast is basically this conversion challenge. Yes. And will the NRC/CAA address that? So that is basically the question to both of you, because they are intertwined in some form, shape, or the other. Because that's what is keeping them back. Because it's like giving you freebies or doing something to keep you back. It's holding the people back of Northeast. They're capable. They're extremely capable. Obviously, I mean, with so much of talent, then you can't say everybody is not capable. So it's not possible. Give them the right opportunity and exposure. I think they can do phenomenal things. So I just wanted your feedback on that.
Yes.
Okay. Ramesh, actually, this whole thing started with the Charter Act of 1813. I think all of you must have heard about. Before that, there was no missionaries were there. But after this Charter Act of 1813, they came to India and obviously in the northeastern part of India, and then started with the savages, tale. And then afterwards, first they, started with this medicine thing. They started to, giving education, English educations, and then how they got into the people. The solutions, or I would say, I mean, the conversions part, if you, percentage, so if I tell you, like in Mizoram, 99%, Nagaland is 99%, Assam is not, it's much in a better position. Tripura is much in a better position. Manipur, and then again, the only, I think, the Meitei culture survive in the center of the Manipur only. This is the Imphal. That's the capital of Manipur. I think that is why I'm telling you that if you know the correct history, that how they have sabotaged everything, the culture, our own culture, then definitely this will come only with the self-realization. The day we do not realize that this is actually our issue, it's my personal matter, this thing will not be resolved. That's what I feel. I mean, this is what I have observed. Not only feel, I've observed it. And then you have to see that how they have, this evangelism has destroyed every culture. And the native culture by, giving these kinds of bogus theory. And you must have heard about the Vadir Elwin. I mean, Vadir Elwin is such a, I mean, sorry for using this, I will say even notorious him. I mean, for saying this word, I apologize, because he married a tribal woman for his research, and then he abandoned him. He just went away, then again to another place, and then he married there. So what they did, I have a National Archive, evidence with me. It was from archive. It was a kind of agreement, not written agreement, between Vadir Elwin and this Jawaharlal Nehru to bar sadhus to enter Nagaland, because somewhere Hindu Sankhe has said then sadhu could have breached an emotional, build an emotional bridge between the rest of the India. But this was stopped there. They were barred. No sadhu is allowed in Nagaland. And present condition, you see the damage of the status of the sadhu, how they are being lynched, they are being killed. So these damages has to be done. This damage has to be repaired by the, I think, the duty of the academician, the historian, the young historians I'm talking about, because the intellectuals are the bearer, torch bearer of the society. That they intellectual will not do their duty, this society will be doomed. Even in the history, we have seen that how, with the blessings of Chanakya, Chandragupta Maurya has created, the golden age in the Indian history. So the role of the intellectual, whom I would say, sir, Dr. Swamy said, the modern Brahmins people, I would say, that we have lots of things to do in our life. I mean, it's a great responsibility. So the conversion has really rampant and it has damaged. But people like Dr. Au, I just mentioned about, he's spoken about how missionaries has damaged the complete Naga culture. So if these kinds of awareness come with all of us, then definitely this conversion things will be gradually over. Yeah, but it needs time. It needs time. Yeah.
On that note, thank you very much.
Yeah,
You
thank
enlightened
you,
all of us and the audience which is listening to you. We have called Dr. Sankhe. We are going to call him twice actually. But today we are going to call him only for Bombay, and why Bombay looks so bad in the eyes of India, because it has such a huge amount of incidents of coronavirus or COVID-19, the latest variation of that virus. And so please explain to us where we have gone wrong in Maharashtra, particularly in Bombay.
Dr. Sankhe, your microphone is muted. Can you please press the M key? M key, please. M.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, I'm very grateful to you and the VHS team for giving me this chance to speak here about Corona. Phirmi spoke on the past and present. I'm speaking from present to future. That's how it is right now regarding Corona.
Good.
So, sir, I just learned from you to give exact figures. So as of now, whatever I see, the world has right now 60,35,071 cases. India has, as of now, 1,73,763 cases. Maharashtra, it is 62,228 cases.
Wow.
And Mumbai alone is more than half of whole Maharashtra, that is 36,932 cases.
My God.
And the first case in Maharashtra was found in Pune on 9th of March. And in Mumbai, it was on 11th of March. And as of now, Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Nasik, and Aurangabad. These are the districts which are highly affected. Amongst them, Mumbai is the topping city. And the way the trend is going on right now, it appears that next 2 weeks, we can have a real peak in the cases. And then another 4 to 6 weeks, and then depending on the controlling measures, we might see a plateau and then declining. This is what it looks like. Right now, the doubling of the cases is taking in about 10 days. So around 5 lakh cases will be there by end of June. This is what it looks like in Mumbai area, whole of Maharashtra. And if the spread is controlled, then it will plateau and start coming down. Overall, India's death rate is significantly low as all other parts of the world. We are like 4, which is not much as compared to 60.
Yes.
UK is 562 per million. So India will definitely show large number of cases because of the population, but the deaths will be low. Kind of statistics is seen, and probably the even to our way of living. Most of the people are more on the vegetarian side.
Yes.
Uh, everything is around. We have been BCG vaccine of the things which they say.
So, Dr. Sankhe, could you please tell us what is your work, because you yourself run a hospital?
Yes, sir. So,
what is your experience as a hospital manager?
Yes, sir. What this area where I am there, we had one constructed, but it was not fully operational. So our hospital team, we along with the municipal authorities, we sort of facilitated to create that full-fledged system, design protocols, and because of that, the Mira Bhayandar area right now has an excellent recovery rate, much better than Mumbai also. So that is what we have done. And our protocols, they include not only medication, but also daily counseling with the patients. We include the allopathic medicines, which is like everyone knows about them, but Ayush medicines and counseling, that is also part of our protocol, and that definitely has shown great results. So overall, we have this lockdown has definitely been successful because we got some time to prepare, because Mumbai is like mini India. So everyone practically from all over India is in Mumbai, and they have connections, plus it has a international connection, and almost maybe up to 30 to 40% of population may be staying in areas which are extremely crowded.
Yes.
Like a 150 square foot room may house 6 to 8 people. So extreme crowding, and because of that, the spread is likely to happen very fast once it goes into the community, which is almost like we are there. But fortunately, even now, sir, we are able to trace the contacts of every case. So that is very effectively being done. So externally, it may appear that why Mumbai is sort of failing and Maharashtra is failing. But at the same time, we should also know that the highest number of testings are being done in Mumbai. So naturally, the cases will be seen much more. And also the, again, crowded areas of slums and all, once the virus enters in those zones, it is very difficult to control the spread. So that is what is happening. And now the containment zones and everything, that strategy is still going on very powerfully. But of course, more can be done. That is what I would say. Beyond that,
but based on your medical experience and knowledge,
yes, sir.
When do you see for the whole of India, even on Maharashtra, this is going to be coronavirus will be a thing of the past?
Sir, it is very difficult to comment because there is a lot of even the medical people, medical scientists, epidemiologists, infectious disease specialists, they are all discussing, and it looks like it is going to stay. Now it is not, you cannot just throw it out. It is going to stay there. And once all of us know that the concept of herd immunity, when we have, say, about 65% of the population which has got the virus, then at that time we can sort of relax our guards. But till then, it is going to be also another thing which is difficult to deal with it is the exact mechanism in which the virus is affecting the human beings is not yet completely understood. It is still, newer and newer theories are coming up, and as based on the experience of people, various kind of treatment modalities are being worked out. Vaccine is trying to be coming in picture. So all these things are going to take time. So rough guess would be around 1 year's time till the time we can say that, okay, now we have dealt with it adequately. And as far as the peak and the coming down, say somewhere around July, August, this is what roughly the medical fraternity is talking about.
Yes. In Bombay, the people who came from other states,
Yes, sir.
are largely, in a big number gone back.
Yes.
Do you think that when the lockdown is lifted, Bombay will be able to recover?
Sir, it is going to be difficult because as I told you, the 30 to 40% people are almost like they are that class who work for someone else.
Yes.
And they have gone, and now for them to come back, and they will also be, there is a lot of fear psychosis also. That means people are very much afraid to stay in Mumbai. So people are unlikely to come, and it will affect the economy, employment, all are going to be there.
Right.
So it's in a wrong way.
Yeah.
So they're unlikely to come.
Yeah. Jagdish, Arvind, and Ramesh, would you like to ask questions?
Yeah, so basically from COVID, I'll just give you a quick update as to where the US is. Pretty much, at least in the worst affected is Northeast in America. Since we talk about, this is the other Northeast problem we have in the world, which is basically the US, which is one of the worst affected. The curve seems to have completely flattened to a large extent for us. So even the hospital, the beds have gone down. The ER used to have almost like 150 beds plus. Now they've gone 50% off, saying that they don't have that many people coming in. It's more, and the reason why we see more than a million plus cases in America is because testing. We believe that, get the people tested, even if they are, let them know and let them cure on their own to some extent. Only the vulnerable are getting taken care of. Even that is coming down. So I think it is flattening to a large extent, and I agree with Dr. Sankhe. It's a matter of time before India starts flattening. The biggest advantage I have seen based on data that we've seen is India is a much better ahead in terms of the mortality rates. You're much lower compared to the US. You can call it because of its inherent immunity, or you're not even, as you said, you cannot fake deaths. You can fake diagnosis, but you cannot fake the number of deaths. So I think there is some pros and cons to it, but we can't let our guard down. That's being the case being set. And some predictions, some modeling here saying that it'll again peak in July. We don't know that yet. But we would like to get some impact and saying, is that the second wave possible? That's something that I wanted to ask Dr. Sankhe. I think he's dropped out, so we'll just wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
Jagdish, you want to chime in anything?
No, I'm waiting for Dr. Sankhe. But anyway, what the Maharashtra or Mumbai's experience is, I think Dr. Sankhe.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
Dr. Sankhe, the question for you was, there are some models here that are saying there is a second wave. Do you see that happening?
In Mumbai?
No, across. In the US, they're talking about a second wave in July. Or do you think that overall, this COVID, does it have a second wave? Is it possible?
See, the second wave is quite possible from speaking from an infectious disease point of view. Like, just like the coronavirus is nothing but a flu virus. We have.
Correct.
Yes. His voice is gone.
Yeah, I think we lost. Okay, there he is back. He's on and off.
Yeah. So the flu virus is also coming in waves. Similarly, corona can also come in waves. And particularly for our region, Maharashtra and Mumbai, now with the lifting of lockdown, if it happens in the next by 10th June or something, and the monsoon coming in, there is likely to be a good upsurge. This is what it appears here.
Oh.
Already we are in peaking. We are doubling right now every 10th day. Maybe 8 to 10 day, we are doubling the figures. So with that, in the next 3 times 10 days, so we will be about 5 lakh at the end of June in this region.
And what about any vaccine trials being conducted in India? Is there anything that, if you could share something from India perspective?
From India, the Serum Institute is doing something, and they are saying we are in phase 3 of trial. So we can just wait and watch and see what's happening.
Arvind?
Yeah, of these figures and statistics on COVID-19, I am apprehensive right from the beginning. I have been maintaining that we are using wrong parameters and wrong indicators to judge our success. We cannot even compare a developed country like United States or countries in Europe with what is happening in India. The eating habits are different. The other habits are different. The kind of food that we take is different, and therefore the immunity that we have is totally different from countries like America or countries in Europe. What we should compare, if at all we make a comparison, that should be with countries with the same poverty levels, countries with the same immunity levels, with food habits which are similar. Maybe we can compare ourselves in Southeast Asia. We can compare with Bangladesh. We can compare with Sri Lanka. We can compare with Thailand, maybe Korea. But we cannot compare ourselves with US and say our recovery rate is 40% and their recovery rate is much lower. Our death rate is 2.8%, the death rate is 6%. And even the death rate, let me tell you, depends on how long do you keep a patient in the hospital. In Delhi, for example, Mr. Kejriwal has announced that anybody who is symptomatic will be first asked to quarantine himself or herself in the house. Now, if it develops serious, then only we'll take it to hospital because there is no hospital bed. Now look at this, and how can you say the recovery? Now, if the average length of a person who stays in the hospital before it is discharged is 10 days over a period of time. Now look at the figures. What were the today 30th of May? What were the figures on 20th of May? 20th of May figures were just 50% because we are doubling in 10 days. In fact, our doubling rate is also going back. Initially, it was 9, 10. Now it went up to 13. Now it is coming back to 10. That means the more danger. And I have been maintaining we have not yet attained peak. The pandemic spread is like S of English. It is not even reached the peak. So what Dr. Sankhe is saying that in June end we will reach the peak. My apprehension is that we will reach peak only in the month of July, maybe end of July, and therefore we should be ready. We should be prepared for this disease to stay in India at least till about October, November.
Dr. Sankhe, one more thing about the alternate therapies. I mean, there are a lot of things. There was somebody in homeopathy says take arsenic album 30 and all those things. I mean, we understand that there is, people are anxious for something. And is that, I mean, whether we have empirical evidence or not, what about alternate therapies that are being proposed? What is your opinion? It helps you maybe you cannot cure it, but at least prevent or, avoid or reduce the symptoms. Is that the case?
Yeah. So, right now the allopathic therapy is fixed, but the Ayush therapies, they can be a good adjuvant to the therapy. In fact, we are ourselves conducting research on homeopathy. Bhaktivedanta Hospital is conducting research on homeopathy as an adjuvant on one group of patients, and another group of patients we are conducting a Ayush medicine which is taken from Bos indicus.
That is a cow.
Indian cow. Yeah, let's wait for him.
These kind of therapies.
Sorry, you got dropped. You said Bos indicus and we dropped.
Yeah, okay. We are also having one adjuvant therapy which is from the urine of Bos indicus, that is cow, the Indian cow, and that is also being tested as a adjuvant to the regular therapy of hydroxychloroquine and doxycycline, azithromycin, several antibiotics, and plus the adjuvants of vitamin D, zinc, etc. So right now, because the treatment modality is evolving, whatever can help us to discharge the patient early, or at least not allow the patient to go from a simple symptomatic patient to a critical level, because in India we face the maximum lack of critical care beds. We can have all other beds, but the critical bed, level 3 beds, are very much in shortage as of now, even today. So imagine after, say, another 4 to 6 weeks, we'll practically have no beds So that is the situation as of now. It's a very
What
frightening
would be
situation.
the advice for people like me at home, or Arvind who's at home? So what can we? I mean, I know if we stay at home, but like for example, what can we add to our diet or something that could help us?
Yeah. So the simple things is like if you have sunlight, take good sunlight so that you have got enough vitamin D, fresh vegetables, then the seeds of watermelon which contain zinc. So many things that these are all available on the social media also.
You mean eat the seeds of watermelon?
Yeah, you can eat the seeds.
The black one, the black
Yes.
seed.
Yes. Sir.
I spit it out. What about HCQ, which President Trump thinks very highly of?
HCQ is good for, we have given it for our healthcare workers. It is recommended not for everyone, those who are in the vicinity of cases, so that Arogya Setu app and all, which we can tell us, okay, you are in the vicinity. At that time, vulnerable patients can take it, and the healthcare workers are also told to take it.
The American drug industry is deadly against HCQ.
That is, sir, the various data keeps on coming, and but in India, at least our personal experience, we have found it extremely effective.
Okay.
Because all our patients who are being treated right now in our vicinity,
Yes.
every healthcare, we tested them again after about 3 weeks of being in contact with COVID positive patients.
Yes.
And we had taken all the precautionary measures, including the PPEs and HCQ prophylaxis. None of them have tested positive. So that's a very important thing from our point of view, that HCQ we are continuing to give to our healthcare workers.
Very interesting. Well, I think we have exhausted.
I have a question, Dr.
Yes.
The general feeling in Maharashtra and Mumbai is that people find it difficult to get admitted for COVID cases. But at the same time, the other cases, like whether it is a stroke or whether it is a heart attack or whether cancer treatment or dialysis, these cases are being neglected from the hospitals or nursing homes because either they are not able to, allowed by the government to treat them, or no much attention is paid to the non-COVID cases, which are also large in number in a regular process. Have you got any inputs or any idea on this? Because that's the question a lot of viewers have been asking in this program by other means of communication.
So, Jagdish, it's a sad reality that actually the non-COVID cases, whether it is heart attacks or strokes or any other thing, they are also suffering as usual. So the whole focus of the government and the healthcare, which is from the government side, is on COVID. So much focus was on COVID that non-COVID cases are also now they're getting neglected. And the fact is that dialysis, strokes, accidents, all these are not going to go down. They are already constant. There is a number of cases which are already fixed, and in that, those beds are also taken away for say COVID. Then the patients will suffer. So we'll have to strike a balance, and very soon I can see that the Maharashtra and Mumbai government, particularly the administrators, they will have to bring in the private players. Unfortunately, the whole sad situation of not getting beds, etc., is happening because there is a sort of a mismatch between the power and the skill. They have to, marry. Actually, power and skill has to marry. Just like Ram Setu was built, so Ram did not say, "I will build the bridge." He told Nal and Neela to build the bridge because they had the skill. Similarly, doctors and the healthcare workers, they have the skills, and the administrators have the powers. So these do have to work in cooperation, and that cooperation, is not just by a sort of a farman or something like order that you must work like this. So there is no motivation to work in a positive willingness, and that is a big situation. And very soon we will find that foreseeably the private players will have to come in, but again there will be a lot of unwillingness. So that good dialogue between the administration and the skilled manpower, because skilled manpower is going to be the major challenge in the future, not the beds. Beds somehow you can create, but the skilled manpower is the biggest challenge, and because of that, the patients will suffer.
So I just had one question. There was a situation, and especially in Tamil Nadu, I was just speaking to Dr. Swamy, speaking to Madan. He gave me cases where even a regular patient, he had to go into the hospital. The hospital said, "You can't come in. We're going to first do a test on you, and if you're not testing positive for COVID, then only we will admit you." So basically, that could be a life and death situation between the 3 days.
Yes.
If you just had like a slight mild heart attack, you never know. They said they're not going to. How does the medical fraternity come up to do this? Because there's a lot of private cases. A lot of the hospitals are refusing to admit anybody. In fact, to that extent, they're being paranoid to that extent.
Yes. So this is again a very important phenomenon which is happening, because the healthcare workers, there is a big mortality in the healthcare worker. A doctor who's trying to treat, or a nurse is trying to treat, they contact the disease, and then they actually succumb. Yes. So because of that, even healthcare workers, even though they are bound by their duty, still they would like to take maximum precaution. That okay, this is a major surgery which is like going to last for, say, example, a cancer surgery may last from 6 to 8 hours. Now in those 8 hours, all the secretions are going to splash, the blood is going to splash. So if the person is COVID positive and was asymptomatic, he can spread the disease to the whole team. So therefore, particularly for those cases which are long cases, that means major cases like cancer, etc., or orthopedic cases like hip replacement, they are saying that you should do some, not for all cases, that the doctors fraternity is also very clear that we should not unnecessarily stop somebody's admission because there is no test done. So
because it's actually happening in some cases. So, but that's what I just wanted to.
It does happen, but let me tell you one more thing. I want to use this platform to say that many good things are happening. Actually, the government also is doing extremely good. The medical fraternity is also doing extremely good. What gets focused in the media, unfortunately, is the negative news, and that creates a lot of fear psychosis. In fact, right now what is necessary is to not just verbally say that doctors are right now devduts and all that kind of thing, but actually mean it in the general population and even on the media, the mainstream media. Like for my own example, I was trying to explain something and he took that story and presented completely in a negative way. This is our own Z News. They told the whole news in a different way.
So such things happen to doctors also. I thought it happens only to politicians.
So that is because they want to sell a negative news. That's how it is. The negative news should not be, that's very minuscule. There are some doctors who may not be ready to say volunteer, but maximum doctors are coming forward to treat the patients. They know we have to fight this battle. So as I said, power and skill has to come together. It has to come together.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Sankhe.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You will have to update us one of these days in the future.
So with this words, we come to the end of another episode. That is the 59th episode of Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga. Before we talk about tomorrow's program, we at VHS team salute the medical fraternity for the services they have been rendering in the time of crisis of coronavirus COVID-19. The medical fraternity and all of them, the doctors, the nurses, the ward boys, and all the entire staff of various hospitals really require our salute for their selfless service they have put in. Same thing with various government department staff, whether it is the police people, the municipal corporation, and other volunteers who have contributed and got together again the fight against coronavirus. So VHS, along with our president, we salute these medical fraternity and the related government agencies for their fight against the coronavirus. So with this, we end our 59th episode of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan 4 social media channels. of YouTube, Twitter Periscope, Facebook Live, and Instagram. Tomorrow is a very important episode. It is our 60th Diamond Jubilee episode, and it is the 31st of May. We will be completing 2 months, and tomorrow we have a very special guest along with Dr. Swamy, and that would be Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji, who will be having a conversation with Dr. Swamy, and we will be blessed by his presence in our program tomorrow at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So we all look forward to the art of living Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. After, in June, we have decided to have our program, although there is a very strong pressure to have it every day, but we have decided to have this program, Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom, on every Sunday at 8 p.m. And thereafter, we will be converting ourselves into a weekly program of Gyan Ganga, 8 p.m. on Sundays. But we will continue our legacy of spreading the words of wisdom and Gyan Ganga on every Sunday for the coming months. So with this, we end today's program. We thank Dr. Sankhe. We thank Dr. Phirmi Bodo. We thank our President, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, my colleagues, Ramesh Swamy ji, Professor Arvind Chaturvedi ji, and our entire team. We were not able to introduce you Ishwar Iyer from Navi Mumbai because of technical reasons, but we also thank him. And besides Rakesh, Swaminathan, Tejas, and the Ashish Shetty and the entire team for putting this program together. So we will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji and Dr. Swamy in a conversation. Thank you. Dhanyavad and Jai Hind.